This is a negotiated bidding, and this is negotiated procurement, and we opened the submitted bid proposals last March 25, 2022. And for this post-qualification report, we conducted the post-qualification evaluation and validation of the lowest calculated bidder, which is Rowing Builders and Construction Supply, with the calculated bid amount of 24,189,614 pesos and 14.84 centavos. So here are our findings for the eligibility documents. Field job certificate of registration. The submission is responsive. They submitted the submitted certificate of field jobs registration is a platinum membership, and it is valid until 4 September 2022. For registration certificate, they submitted a DTI certificate with a registration number 05972776, and it is valid until May 8, 2024. So it is responsive. And for the mayor's or business permit, it is also responsive. The business permit was issued by LGU San Francisco Agusan del Sur, and it is valid until December 31, 2022. For tax clearance, the submission is responsive. It is valid. The tax clearance was issued last August 24, 2021, and it is valid until August 24, 2022. For pickup license, the requirement for the project is medium A license category B for building an industrial plant, and the submission of ROWIM is responsive since it is a medium A large category A. So also the pickup license is valid until June 30, 2022. So this is responsive. For the statement of all ongoing government and private contracts, ROWIM only has one ongoing government project, and no slippage more than -15 or -10. So this is responsive. For the statement identifying the bidder's single largest completed contract, they submitted the project construction of 2 science and 2 ICT laboratories, 2-story, 8-classroom school building at Pinamakulan National High School. This is a building works, and the project is in Butuan City, Agusan del Norte, with a contract amount of 17,590,811 pesos and 98 centavos. So the submission is similar to the project to be bid, and the ABC also, or the contract price is also 50% of the ABC of the project, so it is responsive. For the audited financial statement for the fiscal year 2021, they submitted it to BIR, and it was stamped received last April 11, 2022. So this is responsive. For the computation of the net contracting capacity of the bidder, the NFCC in the amount of 1,357,310 pesos and 87 centavos. Apologies. 1,357,310,087 pesos and 17 centavos. So this is more than the ABC of the project. So this is responsive. Joint venture, not applicable in this case. We go now to the technical documents for the bid security. The submission is responsive. It is a duly notarized bid securing declaration. The organizational chart, all the required personnel are in the org chart of the bidder, and it's responsive. It is in accordance with the ITB of the project. For the list of contractors personnel, all the key personnel are included in the submission. So this is responsive. For the list of equipment, the list of equipment also met the minimum required equipment as per invitation to bid. So this is responsive. For the omnibus sworn statement, the submission is a duly notarized OSS. So this is responsive. For the certificate of site inspection, the certificate was issued by Mr. Hernan Jarumay, issued to Mr. Mark Anthony Garcia last March 11, 2022. So this is responsive. For the company ID of the person who conducted the site inspection, they attach the company ID of Mr. Garcia. So this is responsive. Mr. Garcia, by the way, is the site supervisor of Rowem Builders. So this is responsive. For the photocopy of the visitor's logbook, they attach the CAAP logbook of M. Lang and with the entry name of Mr. Mark Anthony Garcia. So this is responsive. Bid bulletin number 1 and 2, this is not applicable in this case, considering that this is a negotiated procurement. For the financial documents, the submitted bid of Rowing Builders is 24 mil, applying that 15% discount is 24,958,697 pesos and 54 centavos. And after bid calculation, arithmetical correction, the calculated amount of Rowing Builders is 24,189,614 pesos and 14 centavos. So the difference of this calculated bid from the ABC is 387,366 pesos and 16 centavos. All of these amounts are below the ABC of the project. So this is responsive. For the bill of quantities, the submission is in accordance with the bidding form, so it is responsive. For the bid proposal, it is also in accordance with Section 9, so it is responsive. Detailed estimates, it is also in accordance, the submission is in accordance with the bidding form, so it is responsive. The summary sheets for materials, labor, and equipment rates, all are in accordance with the bidding form, so it is responsive. Cash flow by quarter and payment schedule, they also submitted in accordance, the submission is also in accordance with the bidding form, so this is responsive. So, in the submitted post-qualification documents, we conducted the desk evaluation. At the same time, the technical working group, members of the technical working group conducted a validation visit at Rowem Builders in its office in Butuan and Agusan. So, the latest income tax, they submitted the annual income tax for December 31, 2021, and it is stamped received by BIR last April 11, 2022. So for the licenses and permits, they submitted the updated registration, DTI, mayor's permit, tax clearance, and pickup license. So these are responsive submissions. For the latest audited financial statement, they just resubmitted the AFS that was submitted in its technical, so it is responsive. And for the key personnel, all the licenses and accreditations are current and valid, so these are responsive submissions. So yes. The bid proposal of Rowing Builders Construction and Supply was evaluated to have offered the lowest calculated responsive bid for having complied with all the legal, technical, and financial requirements. However, as to the bid amount, be it recalled that the submitted bid is higher than the calculated bid, and as per Section 34.4 of the 9184 and its revised IRR, what is controlling in the contract is the one with the lower in price. So with that, the technical working group is now recommending that the Mlang Airport Development Project be awarded to Rowing Builders and Construction Supply, being the lowest calculated responsive bidder in the amount of 24,189,614 pesos and 84 centavos for consideration and approval, Mr. Chair. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, Attorney Frank. At this juncture, we're opening the floor for comments or questions from our members. If there are none, maybe we can have a motion, please, based on the recommendation of the TWG.
To the chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I move to adopt the recommendation of TWG to recommend award to ROIM Builders for Mlang Airport Development Project being the lowest calculated responsive bid with the lower calculated bid price. Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Is there a second?
Second.
After There being also disregarded, the recommendation of the TWG is hereby adopted for the award of the project Lang Airport Development Project to in builders tama ba?
Yes, sir. And
In builders
construction
and
supply.
construction supply. Alright, motion is carried. Let's move on.
Mr. Chair, just for the information of the committee, Mr. Chair, this project is included in the list of projects that was approved by the COMELEC, sir, as exempted to be for the election ban, sir.
Okay. Alright, with that, we proceed with the next item. Catbalogan Airport Development Project, calendar year 2021. An AGM is guilty or downloaded project amounting to 101,130,438 pesos and 50 centavos. This is also for presentation of post-qualification report. TWG?
Okay, thank you, sir. The next presentation is for the Catbalogan Airport Development Project, and this is also a negotiated procurement, and we opened the submitted proposals last March 25, 2022. And for this report, we conducted the bid evaluation, post-qualification, validation, and verification for the bidder Pablo S. Labasbas Construction Corporation in joint venture with FS Plant Experts Industrial Services. So the calculated bid is 94,480,381 pesos and 90 centavos. Here are the results of the evaluation. For the eligibility documents, field job certificate of registration, the submission of the joint venture for Pablo, the field job certificate of registration is valid until November 17, 2022, while for the FS Plant Builders, it is valid until 23 November 2022. For the registration certificate, for Pablo Labasbas, they submitted an SEC registration with registration number CS 2012 15 787, and the date of registration is August 28, 2012. While for FS Plant, they submitted a DTI registration with registration number 04904454, and it's valid until August 24, 2022. So these are responsive submissions. For the business permit, for Pablo, they submitted the mayor's permit, which was issued at Calbayog City, and it is valid until December 31, 2022. While for FS Plant, the mayor's permit was issued by LGU Dolores of Eastern Samar, and it is valid also until December 31, 2022. So these are responsive submission. For tax clearance, both clearances are valid. And for Pablo S. Labasbas, it is valid until October 25, 2022, while for Plant Builders, it is FS Plant, it is valid until 11 November 2022. So these are responsive. For pickup license, they submitted 3 licenses. One is for Pablo, FS, and for the joint venture. For this project, it's medium A and industrial plant, and for the joint venture, they were given the license, medium A license category A, and it is valid until June 30. So this is responsive, and it met the requirement of the project. So for the statement of all ongoing government and private contracts, the submission is non-responsive. We will discuss later. We will show later the grounds for the disqualification for the non-compliance. Pablo S. Labasbas indicated in the list of ongoing projects in its post-qualification documents 3 ongoing government infrastructure projects. However, these projects have negative just more than negative 15%, while for plant FS Plant, they only submitted 2 projects. So I will show later the submission. For the SLCC, the submission is similar to the project to be bid. This is a general engineering or a building works, and the nature and the project title is Repair Rehabilitation of Gian Municipal Building. And the amount of the project is, or the amount of the contract is 53,976,859 pesos and 84 centavos. So this is responsive. For the audited financial statement, both submission for both companies are responsive. For Pablo, the 2019-2020 audited financial statement was received by BIR last March 15, 2021, while for FS Plant, it was received by BIR last April 12, 2021, so it's responsive. For the NFCC, Pablo submitted an NFCC in the amount of 1,703,162,498 pesos and 66 centavos, while for Plant, FS Plant, they submitted an NFCC in the amount of 50,361,771 pesos and 24 centavos. Both of these submitted NFCC are more than is more than the ABC of the project, so it is responsive. Joint venture, they submitted a signed and a duly notarized joint venture agreement, so this is responsive. For the technical documents, bid security, it is in accord. Duly notarized bidding securing declaration was submitted. It is responsive. For the organizational chart, it complied with all the items as specified in the invitation to bid, so it is responsive. For the list of key personnel, all the key personnel required are present in the submission, so it is responsive. For the equipment, also all the major equipment as listed in the invitation to bid are submitted. For the omnibus sworn statement, it is a duly notarized omnibus sworn statement was submitted, so it is responsive. While for the certificate of site inspection, the site inspection was conducted by Mr. Quitorio, and a certificate was issued by Mr. Nunez last November 27, 2021, so it is responsive. For the company ID, they submitted the company ID of Mr. Quitorio, so this is responsive. For the logbook, they also attached the logbook of CAAP logbook with the entry name of Mr. Quitorio, so this is responsive. For the financial bid, the offered bid is 94,480,257 pesos and 93 centavos, and the calculated bid is 94,480 pesos. 480,381 pesos and 90 centavos. A difference from the ABC amounting to 6,650,056 pesos and 60 centavos. So the calculated bid and the offered bid are below the ABC of the project. So this is responsive. Bill of quantities in accordance with our form, so it is responsive. Bid proposal, it is also in accordance with Section 9, so this is responsive. Detailed estimates in accordance with the bidding form, so responsive. And for the summary sheets for materials, labor, and equipment, these are all responsive submission. It is in accordance with the bidding form, Section 9. Cash flow by quarter is also in accordance with the bidding form. Engineer Hubay and Engineer Ceballos conducted the site visit, and they also validate all the documents as submitted by the joint venture in its post-qualification documents, and here are the compliance. For the latest income tax, they submitted the business tax for the period February 2022, so this is responsive. For the licenses and permits, both companies submitted the field jobs registration, pickup license, SEC, DTI registration, mayor's permit, and tax clearances. So these are responsive submissions, all current and valid. For the latest audited financial statement, they just resubmitted what was submitted in the technical document. These are responsive. For the key personnel licenses, all licenses are current and valid, so these are responsive. So as to the non-complying items of Pablo for the joint venture, As you can see po, in the submitted ongoing project of Pablo S. Labasbas, the first project, the plan is 100%, the actual is 81%, so this is negative 19%. So for the second project, construction of road, Rueda Extension, Barangay Rizal 1, Calbayog City, Samar, the plan is 100%. The submission is only 15% compliance. So a negative 85% slippage. And the last project is for the rehabilitation of or reconstruction of road with slips, slopes, collapse, and landslide. So the plan is 100%, and the the actual is 80.81, so 19 negative 19 plus percent slippage. So Pablo S. Labasbas Construction Corporation listed 3 ongoing government projects. In the submitted list, all projects have slippages more than negative 15. And as provided in section 34.3, item number 2 of 9184 and its IRR, the shall disqualify the contract from award for the procurement of infrastructure project if any of the ongoing contract shows negative slippage of at least negative 15% or in one project, or a negative slippage of at least 10% in each 2 or more contracts. So we find the technical ruling that the Bus Construction Corporation and FS Plant Experts Industrial Services be post-disqualified due to the negative slippages of its ongoing projects. And considering that this is the only bidder who passed the bid evaluation, Mr. Chair, we are also recommending for the BAC to declare a failure of bidding, considering that all submitted bids fail to comply with the requirements of the project. Thank you, Mr. Chair, for consideration and approval of the committee, sir.
Thank you again, Attorney Cap, for that presentation. We have a recommendation for the post-disqualification of Pablo S. Labasbas Construction Corporation and FS Plant Experts Industrial Services JV due to negative slippage, and then for BAC declare failure of bidding due to the considering that all submitted bids failed to comply with the requirements. Do you have any questions or clarifications from the members? Let's have a motion, please.
Motion, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Ma'am Joyce.
Yes, I move to adopt the recommendation of TWG for the post-disqualification of corporation joint venture with FS Plant Expert Industrial Services being non-responsive due to slippage of more than negative 15%. And second recommendation is to declaration of failure of bidding. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Do you have a second?
Second.
All right, thank you. Thank you. With that motion duly seconded, the recommendation is to be adopted. Let Pablo S. Labasbas Construction Corporation FS Plant Experts Industrial Services Joint Venture is hereby accordingly post disqualified, and as moved, let this bidding be considered failure. So what is the next step for this? Attorney Flap, with the end user here present,
Mr. Chair,
post this for second bidding?
sir, we will just wait, Mr. Chair, for the period for the joint venture to file a motion, sir, before we proceed with the sending of a letter invitation for the renegotiation, sir.
All right, sige. Yeah, there are 3 days, correct? After this.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sige.
Yes, sir. We will notify immediately, sir.
All right, that's fine. All right, with that, let's move on, please, to the next item. The last item for today is the DK Ever Development Project. ADMS DOTR downloaded project amounted to 95,721,536 pesos and 06 centavos. Also a post-qualification presentation. Eligibility.
Mr. Chair, for these projects, sir, may we request, sir, for the deferment of the presentation of the technical working group report, sir, considering that the DPWH certification that we obtained, sir, from for the bidder IBC International Construction Corporation is yet to be received by officially by BAC, sir. So for uh, for prudence, sir, we suggest that we delay, sir. We defer the presentation of the technical working group report, sir.
Sorry, Telefon, ano yung hindi na-submit?
Sir, we are waiting for the official DPWH list of ongoing projects, sir. Status of ongoing projects, sir. This is material in the determination, sir, whether they would comply. Their submission would be responsive or not, sir.
Okay, when do you expect this to be submitted?
Sir, we already communicated with DPWH. They can submit this on Wednesday, sir. They can forward to us the official copy on Wednesday, sir.
Alright. So considering that this particular document is something that the board of directors has previously required in our back presentations, I think it's good for us to wait for it. So what do you suggest is be deferred, Attorney Frank?
Tentatively, sir, on Thursday, sir. We will just
Okay.
communicate with back secretariat, sir.
Sige. Do you have any objections from the members? Alright, hearing none, we'll adopt this recommendation. We'll defer this for the next back meeting to be included in the agenda. Okay? Do you have anything else for today?
None from the TWG.
None also from the secretariat, sir.
Alright, there being no more items in the agenda, let's already adjourn this meeting. When will the next meeting be? Thursday, no?
Yes, sir, Thursday, as
Tentatively.
previously.
Tentatively Thursday. Alright, thank you everyone for attending. Associate Chair members, Ma'am Vani, Ma'am Dayan, Ma'am Joyce, maraming salamat po for always attending. Alright, we'll see everyone next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Maraming salamat po. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you po.